right, time now for our rants and raves of the week, starting with you, Dan.
Well, I have a rave for President Obama, who has not always been the best friend of journalism, but nevertheless, this week he put out a very strong statement in favor of net neutrality. And we've talked about net neutrality before. Essentially, it just guarantees equal access to the internet. Free speech in the digital age absolutely depends on this. I hope the FCC goes along. I will follow that up with a rant for Senator Ted Cruz, who immediately labeled net neutrality Obamacare for the internet, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But then again, he's Senator Ted Cruz.
All right,
was
Callie.
he pointing at Obama?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I have a rave. We're having raves today for Marie Nelson. She is now the Vice President of News for PBS. She was here at GBH briefly serving as executive producer of national programs. Our professional paths crossed when she was the founding executive director for the Tell Me More radio program on NPR. And she was just a fabulous, talented person. Also, we didn't cross paths at ABC, but she was at World News Tonight, some other programs. And it's just great to see someone you respect rising to a position. Hope she's not dragged down by everybody else. Sorry.
That's not possible. Josh.
I have a rave. It's sort of an insidery rave a little bit. It's the 100th anniversary this week of the New Republic's debut. Yeah. And the New Republic has had its good stretches and its bad stretches over time, but certainly its low point was in the 1990s when it published the work of Stephen Glass. Yes. Perhaps the single most notorious fabulist in the history of journalism, a guy who made up fantastically bizarre stories. That,
they made a movie about it.
They made a great movie, I think, Shattered Glass.
I love that movie.
Terrifying if you're a journalist to sit through that movie. So they, in their most recent issue to celebrate their 100th, they went back and interviewed Stephen Glass.
Really?
All these years later, asking him why he did it. And he has not had the best history since then of engaging with this, what he did directly. But Hannah Rosen, who wrote it, worked with him at the New Republic at the time, did a really good job exposing this kind of unfortunate figure who did this terrible thing and has not been able to is still being chased by it. So it's a good story. I'd pick it up.
Good. All right, John.
I have a rave. I guess it's a complete sweep here. I'm sure you'll break the string, Emily. For a newly released autobiography by the late, great John Palmer of NBC News. You may recall him as the news anchor on the Today Show for many years. Before that, a very well-regarded international and White House correspondent, and full disclosure, a longtime family friend. And I recommend this not because he was a friend, but because for general readers, there's a moving chronicle of what it was like growing up white in the 1940s South and how race relations affected him as a child. And for journalists, it's a document on how the concept of a gentleman journalist, someone engaged with his community, a loving and successful family life, and a successful career, is not an oxymoron. Those things can coexist, and they coexisted beautifully in the life of this man.
So has it just come out?
It's just come out. It's not expensive. It would be a great holiday season gift. It's available on Amazon, and I do not get a rake off.
All right. So actually, I'm going to complete the sweep.
Wow.
I have a rave. Are you guys all familiar with something called Serial?
Of course.
Oh my gosh, my daughter turned me onto it this week. So Serial is a podcast from This American Life. It's one story told over the course of an entire season, and the woman's name is Koenig. Sarah Koenig. Koenig. So I started listening to it earlier in the week. It's the episodes range from like 53 minutes to 43 minutes, and I have been listening to it. I got caught with it on my desktop. And this is just a really great tale of a murder back in 1999. And the woman, I mean, it is hard work. It is well produced. It's an engaging tale, and you really don't know from episode to episode where it's going to take you, which is why it's so fetching. Anyway, I guess I was slow to the table on this one, but my daughter sent it to me. She's commuting to work at long distances now, and she listens to that. And the nice thing is, it's also free.
You just answered your Howie Carr question, Emily. Yeah. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
Just goes to show the power of a well-told story,
That's
even in the age of bells and whistles.
And then you can wait another week to hear it come out.
This American Life, that's what they have been doing for a long time in shorter segments.
And this is strictly a podcast done out of WBEZ in Chicago. It's great. All right, that is our show. Tell us what you think. Is the press ignoring Grubergate? Will you miss Howie Carr on WRKO? Weigh in on our website, beatthepress.org. You can also catch up on past episodes or watch any of this show you may have missed.